All right, this is the Veken pet drinking fountain. This is one of the motorless ones. I really kind of like this. I actually have an older model of this, so it is very, very reliable. I had a different model from Veken, but I really like this one the best because that the motor is actually below the actual water tank itself. And let's go ahead and open this up. And by the way, it has the instructions here, tells you what you need to do, rinse out the filters, but I'll walk you through this because I've done this so many times before. We got the instruction manual, and it just tells you all the things that you need and how to specifically set it up. So let's go ahead and pull out the rest of this. Easy peasy. Okay, so you can see that it's already built, but we know that in the inside is where we're going to see all of the actual components. So we've got the top layer. This is where the filter is going to go in. They give you a couple of extra filters. Make sure you rinse these out thoroughly. We'll find that out here in just a moment. Comes along with its own little rubber mat as well. I've got one on the other one and I really like it. Just remember that when you go to change out your water from this, it's a good idea to wipe down this rubber mat because this rubber mat tends to hold a lot of the moisture, and if you let it sit for too long, it will mildew. So make sure you're going through and wiping that down real good. All right, so here's the spout, and it's also got the black sponge that we put inside a little further up into here. So you'll see we just removed this very simply. This is where the black sponge will go. We've got an extra one, so that'll go with this filter here. This is something new. They didn't have a brush before. That is a nice addition and much, much, much needed. So love it. Okay, I'm going to snap that back in. Let's take a look real quick here. And I just want to show you why this is so nice is that in the previous models, you actually had to pull out the motor. You had to remove the rotator here, or the agitator, if you will. And it was such a pain in the butt. So when you're going to switch things out, you can leave this plugged in and then pull it out, do the water, change it all out. So it looks like there is a sticker in the inside. It says cleaning time. Flip the tank to remove the impeller. So I've just found something that's different from the other one. So the impeller, which is actually what it's called, this actually comes out. In the old model, it didn't come out, and I think there was probably some complaints about it. I haven't had issues. I've actually had the other one, the older model, for a while now. So that's kind of cool that you can just pop that out. You can thoroughly wash it out. You don't ever have to wash this. That obviously never really gets anything added into it. Although I think it's really cool is the little light that goes through this. So that's kind of cool. The impeller does come out. Let's go ahead and pull the sticker out of here. And one thing I would recommend is obviously before you set this up, do the same thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go through. The very first thing is we're going to thoroughly rinse this little black sponge, and then we're also going to thoroughly rinse one of these filters. And I'm just going to go through and try to clean out every single one of these parts. Now you will notice that there's a brick here that we can add to the very end, and then there's where we'll be able to plug it. And it looks like there's where the light's going to be at, but that's probably going to be off, so I just prefer not to have it on. Okay, so it's time to put this thing back together. I've done a thorough washing. Now just a real quick heads up, I just discovered they actually have an extra impeller. So it kind of makes me wonder if we need to kind of keep this on backup, so make sure you hang on to that, put it off to the side, and you don't lose it. I've never seen this before, so this is neat. I'm learning as I'm kind of going along here with you. All right, we're gonna start out, very first thing is we need to take this, we need to fill it up, but we wanna make sure the impeller slip back in there. Now let's go ahead and we're gonna take where the filter goes in here, pop it in there, and we're gonna wanna make sure we slip this into the very bottom. All right, so it's gonna be looking right there like that. All right, so we're all set there. So let's fill this up with water. Okay, I've got the water filled up. Now keep in mind there is a minimum and maximum fill line. I have tested those limits before on previous Veken water fountains. And yeah, when I went above it, it killed the motor. So be very careful. Stay within the limits that it recommends and do not let go past the minimum because again, you'll end up burning out the motor. You don't want that to happen. All right, let's take the very next layer. We're gonna place this right up on top, and then we have the filter. A lot of people want to know which direction does it go. You want to put the fat portion down so it's completely flat up here on top. And this goes for all Veken pet fountains. Previously I said, it doesn't really matter, but actually it does matter. You want to put it in this direction. And next up, we're going to place this over top.
Sorry, something went wrong.
And then we're going to go ahead and place this right here. And then we're ready to go ahead and plug this in. Okay, so you will see there is the old version of the Veken pet fountain. Here's the new version. Now you'll see right away as soon as we start things up, and by the way, they're the same size, they're just not lined up in the same position. We're gonna go ahead and plug it in, but you will see immediately light goes on here. We can shut that puppy off. We can turn it on if we want to. There was no light in the original model. You couldn't remove the impeller. They didn't give you an extra impeller, but they did give you filters and all that type of stuff. So this right here I feel is a strong upgrade. I've used pretty much all of Veken's pet fountains, and these two are by far the absolute best. The other ones, not so much. The stainless steel ones sometimes are a little loud. The plastic ones get dirty really fast. These ones are much easier to clean. So big thumbs up. I'm so excited that we got this new one, and I know my cats are gonna love it too.